Has your business been impacted by the coronavirus pandemic? You are not alone. Over $11 trillion has been lost by the global economy, and more than 100 million people have lost their jobs due to the prolonged lockdowns. Even worse, more than 4 million people have died in the pandemic just in the last 1 year. In today's episode, I'm going to share with you 3 ways that you can revive and restore your business from the negative impact of the pandemic. Without further ado, let's get started. In April 2020, I received a phone call that broke my heart. Halima is a hard-willed, hard-working young woman. There's no reason she should have been crying on the phone when she called me. Sadly, she lost her livelihood in the wake of the coronavirus pandemic. Just like the flip of a switch, everything she had worked for was gone. Her thriving paper laminating business came to a halt at the pronouncement of a lockdown in Abuja. The 4 girls that were under her employment are now without jobs. I could feel the agony in her voice when she told me she was hungry. With little to do, I asked her to apply for the Covi-19 palliative fund of the Central Bank of Nigeria, called the Targeted Credit Facility. 1 year after, Halima has not received this palliative. She now feels betrayed by the country she believes in. I know many people who have lost their businesses and livelihoods to the pandemic and have no access to external support. If you're like one of us, here are the 3 things you can do to get back on your feet before help comes your way. Number 1. Diversification is when a business creates a new product for a new market or industry that it currently does not serve. Companies often consider diversification as a growth strategy. However, in the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic, small businesses are forced to diversify in order to stay alive. No one I know does this better than Mimido, the CEO of Catella Couture, a brand that produces bespoke dresses for women and girls. When the coronavirus showed up and public anxiety was at its peak due to the lockdowns that were pronounced, this fashion designer responded by making nose masks for her customers. Soon she started fulfilling orders nationwide. The lockdowns created a surge in demand for non-pharmaceutical materials for preventing people from the pandemic. As a result, the Catella nose masks were well received in the marketplace. 1 year into the pandemic, and businesses that have survived are still battling to be alive. Mimido has diversified further by selling yams. Yes, you heard me right. Yams. What has yams got to do with fashion design? Here's what I know. Mimido sells only Benue yams, a species of yams that are highly sought after. So word has gone around and her customer base is increasing on a daily basis. Here's the interesting part. When people come to buy yam from her and find out that she's a fashion designer, they even become more confident to do fashion business with her. Think about it like this. The Benue yam business, which was supposed to be a diversified source of income, has now become a lead magnet to her fashion business. Diversification into yams is working like a funnel. It sucks in the yam buyers and then filters those who would place orders for fashion design. If your business is struggling due to the negative impact of coronavirus, think about diversification. What you need to do is to scan your environment and look at opportunities that may exist there, the needs that people have, a very good place to start from. The business idea that you're choosing should be the one that has a quick turnover and a healthy cash flow to make you liquid. Number 2, take your business online. There has been a rapid acceleration of adoption of online marketplaces for businesses all over the globe since the wake of the coronavirus pandemic. Over 600% growth in online channels has been experienced in the last 1 year. No thanks to the prolonged lockdowns. Globally, businesses have acted 25 times faster by adopting online channels as a means of reaching their customers with their products and services. Businesses have seen over 800% increase in direct online sales year on year since the wake of Covid-19. Now, here's the interesting part. Even when the pandemic's over, these customer habits that have been formed are thought to become the new normal. Businesses that must succeed going forward would have to adapt to these new habits and embrace them to be able to reach their customers and stay in business. Remember, I told you that Mimido was selling nose masks during the lockdown. All that business happened online. Customers would simply place orders online on her channels and she would dispatch. The logistics companies would take it and deliver to their doorsteps. And that's the same thing she's doing with her Benue yam business. So people see the yam pictures online, they place orders, they make negotiations without ever having to leave the phone, and they get the yams delivered right to their doorsteps. Now she has even ordered baked cashew nuts to her offerings. She sells on Instagram and on Facebook Marketplace. And you will be shocked to find how visible her business has become as a result of her online presence. If your business is struggling to make sales, turn the phone in your hand into a business tool and begin selling online. I don't care how old you are and I don't care what product you're selling. Your business can sell online. Get online and get your business going. Number 3. Cutting down expenses can be the hardest thing your business can do. However, a realistic look at your books can be the difference between whether your business goes down or stays alive to thrive post-pandemic. The first step in cutting down expenses is tracking where the money you're spending goes to. This is so critical because it will open your eyes to things that you have not been able to factor before. Who knows that your entertainment expenditure was this big? Only a critical look and tracking will be able to tell you that. Once you've been able to track your expenses, you want to be able to make an objective projection of your cash flow during and post the pandemic. Be realistic. How has this impacted your customers? How much are they buying? How much are you projecting they're going to be buying in the next coming days? What has changed since the pandemic ended? Once you do that, compare those figures against your fixed and variable costs, and you'll be able to know which side of the book weighs more, and then you try to strike the balance. If your expenses are above your projection, you're going to find a creative way to cut those expenses. And you can start with your salaries, which is a harder thing to do. Your staff may not like to hear this, but trust me, the earlier you do this, the longer they'll be able to stay on the job. You can do things like saving electricity, closing down spaces that are not being used, cutting down on working hours. You can also cut down on some expenses like travel, entertainment, subscriptions like data and television. And one more thing is to determine the expenses that can be delayed. So if you have contractors like suppliers, you want to negotiate with them to extend your payment schedules so that you can buy more time to earn more money and balance your books. Finally, the coronavirus pandemic is an unusual situation that is going to pass with time. However, the devastating effect it has created will live and be felt long after the pandemic has gone. So always remember to keep calm and carry on with ease. Here's a quick recap to help you survive the coronavirus pandemic. 1. Diversify your business and expand your income. 2. Take your business online and sell to a wider market. And number 3, cut down your expenses in order to balance your books. That pretty much wraps up this episode. Thank you so much for tuning into the SME Roundtable. Hit the like button if you found today's episode helpful. And remember to subscribe to help us bring more quality content to you. Check out the 2 videos on the screen. And don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section to inspire someone. If you have friends who would like this video, please, by all means, feel free to share with them. See you in the next video.